There's already tears. Okay, IDK. Hate that. All right, so you say, I don't know. You say, what if you did know, right? All right, so slope formula. We got this. Slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Could I write it y1 minus y2? Yes, but if I did, then you have to switch the x's as well. Now, point slope form for a line, you just multiply, through by the denominator, and you get y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So once you know the slope formula, you should know the point slope form. That's how they come up with point slope form. All they do is cross multiply. Everybody see that? Easy peasy. Slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. So we will take the point slope form and transfer it into slope-intercept form. Some people may wonder, why do I even refer to point slope form if we're going to put it in that form anyway? This is much more user-friendly, especially when we get to calculus. So I used to only work with slope-intercept form. I would never even teach this, but through the years, I've become wiser and older and more gray hair and less hair. And part of that is I will cover that. So horizontal lines and vertical lines. This is a point of confusion for some people, and we'll talk about it. Suppose you have a couple coordinates. Say 2, 2, and negative 3, 2. And I have a line that goes through those two coordinates. What kind of line is that? It's a horizontal line. Now, will that be x equals or y equals? Okay, it'll be a y equals. However, you could understand why somebody would say x equals. Why would somebody say x equals? Yeah, it's parallel to the x-axis. And x means horizontal, right? But look at the points. What doesn't change? The y value stays the same. It's 2. So that's why a horizontal line has an equation of y equals. And try to stop projecting my voice because it's gonna leave here pretty soon. So, well, thank you. Try another point. We'll go negative 3, negative 1. And you can see that if you draw a line through these 2 points, it's a vertical line. What stays constant? The x is negative 3. So you can now begin to understand why you have an x equals for a vertical line. Does that connect a little bit? Okay. Lines that are parallel, what's true about their slopes? They're the same. So those are 2 lines who have same slope, and therefore they are parallel. Say I have y is equal to negative 15 over 8x minus 14. What would be the slope of the line that's perpendicular to that line? So how would you describe those slopes? Opposite reciprocals. Okay. What's that, Terry? You can say it. It's okay. It was funny. It made me laugh. It is a big word. It is a big word. I used the term reciprocal around somebody one time during the summer. It was back when I was in high school. And the person looked at me like they were going to kill me. And they were like, you never use words that big when school is not in session. And I'm like, holy cow. All right. He didn't even know what reciprocal was. Okay. So find the slope of the line through the following points. So we got 10 minus 2 over 3 minus 5, which is 8 over negative 2 or negative 4. There are 4 different types of slope. I'm going to use a little graphic organizer for you. We determine slope by moving from left to right. And so if we move from left to right, We say that this is positive slope, this is negative, this is 0. What do we call the slope of a vertical line? Undefined. Why do we call it undefined? What's wrong with it? Why don't we give it a value like something like, for example, we come up with 0. If you take 0 and divide it by 2, that would be like, let's say I have 2 candy bars and Jake wants to have 0 of my candy bars. If I have 2 candy bars and Jake wants 0 of them, Jake, how many would you take from me? Yeah, you'd take 0. Now let's switch it around. More likely scenario. Okay, I have 0 candy bars and Jake would like to have 2 of them. Jake, how many sets of 0 should I give to you? Would you like 9 sets of 0? How about 24? How about a billion? Jake, I'll give you a Google sets of 0. Would you be happy with that? You would still have, we don't know how many zeros you would have to add. I mean, it's just, there's no number that would even identify. Even if you had an infinite number of 0 sets, still won't work, right? And that's why we get the undefined value. So if you guys are ever wondering why you come up with 0 and undefined, that's why. So that'll help you out. Whoop, wrong class. Don't know how to do that. All right. Okay, do B, C, and D on your own. Go. Okay, for letter B, I saw there's no change in the x values, which means it's a vertical line. X equals -3, so therefore it's an undefined slope. C, you get 0, and D, -2/3. Any questions? Going once? Going twice? What? So, I thought you said skull as in go Vikings. Okay. All right. All right, our last task for the day is to be able to find equations for lines. And this is where I get the most common IDK scenarios. So I'm going to tell you, every time you see this, and especially for those of you who will be taking calculus from me next year, every time you see those directions, you write down slope and a point on your line. Now, in this situation, we're given the slope and we're given the point on the line. The slope is -3. The point on the line is 3, 4. Once we can identify those two pieces, all we have to do is use our point slope form, and that will generate for us an equation for our line, which we will write in slope-intercept form. Y minus 4 is equal to -3 times x minus 3. You go ahead and do B on your own. Okay, I got y equals -2/3 x plus 3. Everybody okay with that? Okay, let's move along. Again, the directions are writing equation for a line. I need slope and a point on the line. What's different about this problem compared to the others? There's no slope. So which you get to pick which point you want, whichever one you want. I don't care. Whatever you say. So how will I find the slope? Slope formula, y sub 2, which is -7, minus y sub 1, -1, for x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Once you identify those, you always go back to what we practiced in our previous two problems. So you should get y is equal to -3x plus 5. Now change the next one to 5, 3 instead of 4, 3. I anticipate a problem that we might have on our assignment, so I switch it to help our learning. What do you notice about these 2 points? The x's are the same. Therefore, if x's are the same and you identify a slope and a point on the line, if the x's are the same, what's the slope going to be? Undefined. So there's 0 change in the x value, which means it's an x equals equation, which is a vertical line, so we have an undefined slope. Again, what kind of equation gives us an undefined slope? Vertical line. Is vertical line x equals or y equals? What is the x value in both of those coordinates? 5. You guys are so smart. You guys are so smart, I should double your assignment. How about a line that passes through 6, 1 and is parallel to 3x minus 4? I know the point on the line is 6, 1. Why? Sounds good. Again, every time, slope, point on the line. Point on the line is negative 3, 2. But it says it's parallel to 3x minus 5y is equal to 11. Lots of good statements, none loud enough for me to hear. I'm becoming an old man. I got lots of ear hair. It kind of gets in the way. Slope-intercept form, excellent. So I've got negative 5y is equal to negative 3x plus 11. So the slope of this line is 3/5. So what's the slope of the line that's parallel to it? Is anybody dismayed by the fact that we have fractions here? You're sad? If you would like to, we can get rid of the fractions. Multiply through by what? 5. We get 5y minus 10 is equal to 3 times x plus 3. You're right. They will pop up in the end, but it will make it easier for us so we won't have to find common denominators. What's up, Nemec? Can you share with us the mistake you made so we can all learn? You put a minus 3 instead of plus 3. Is that a reasonable mistake? If you do that on a test, I will not be upset with you. I understand that those are reasonable. But if you get to this problem, you're like, I have no idea even where to start, I will be very frustrated inside. So, and you guys know why I feel frustrated inside. I feel like I must have done a bad job at teaching it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure it out. You do the last one. Do G on your own. Go. Do G. Yeah? What do you think about that, Jenna? Awesome. You guys have a lot of time to work on your assignment. You want to say hi to YouTube? Rihanna want to say hi, YouTube?
Hi YouTube, I really missed you for the past like couple of weeks because, somebody broke Gens's stuff. So I really hope you're not confused. Like I said, you could really hit up my Twitter. You could really hit up my Twitter at Rhiannon_far if you need math help. Thanks, bye.
And to whoever the teacher is that's following my videos that you can't hear my voice, I'm sorry. I fixed it, okay? Sing you a song.